Hello guys, good evening, we're here, we've loaded in, we have a match, we have a game, and I think, just keeping a close eye over on the monitor, it's working. We're actually going to head in. Yes, we're heading into the draft. It's oh my goodness, it's a miracle. 5Jungz here going up against No Logic Gaming. Best of 3 between the two teams, and you know, I've not seen too much of No Logic. They're an interesting mix of players. You know, a bunch of tier 2 teams kind of split up, and they found themselves in this spot. Milan, Spartan, Nico Baby, Hook, and Nikwa. They've all had their fair share of playing at the higher tier Dota 2 tournaments. But I'm not alone tonight. My co-caster Skim is here as well. How you doing, man?
Woohoo!
Yes.
I'm doing fine. I'm very happy that we finally loaded in.
10 seconds
And I'm still scared because of this whole serial thing. I know they kind of fixed it, but you never know, right?
You never know. Ever. It's honestly anything can happen, but hopefully we'll get ourselves through and everything is going to be good. But picks and bans so far. 5Jungz here, no big surprise. They've been loving Ember Spirit, as have Monkey Business. These two teams that have really shown, you know, they're at the pinnacle of their game, at least in the European sense. You know, they haven't really had a big international showing just yet, but Ember Spirit has been very highly contested for them.
Yeah, and they also love the Orgrim Magi. They love to put it on Jarex just to roam. I mean, Orgrim Magi is so freaking tanky now. Like, he was tanky before already because he had that sick regen, and now with the armor as well. They really love just to put Jarex on the Ogre and just let him roam, do his thing. And I mean, there was even the scene in the game where he was just like faring off against the two opposing supports, and they just couldn't do anything about him because he was just so tanky. So I think this kind of suits their playstyle, just having somebody that they can roam with, and yeah, they secured almost every time in the first 2 picks.
Yeah, because even back on Hot 6, Yerax was definitely the player that was running around doing stuff. You know, I always remembered him for his TPs towards mid lane with Rubik and Dazzle, reacting to the enemy play, and then his Tusk play has been pretty immense over the past couple of weeks as well, just constantly causing havoc wherever he goes. But No Logic Gaming, look at their bans. Every single hero there has a form of sustain or annoyance, right? There's Grave, Voodoo Restoration, Soul Rip, and Cold Embrace. They're just getting rid of these irritating, annoying to deal with heroes. Then, you know, Kuroki has been very fond of since he's been playing on this team. Whereas 5Jungz, Anti-Mage, Quap, the Tusk ban, what do they look at next? Because Darkseer Lina, no Earthshaker, no big setup spells just yet. I think something like an ES would be a good all-round ban, just to get rid of that long-range Fissure initiation. You know, into an Ember Spirit who relies on his mobility, and the fact that he can just jump away from initiation. Having someone who can jump you from fog is always incredibly scary.
Yeah, and it's also a good combo just in general with the Darkseer and the Lina. I mean, a good setup stun for Lina to land her stun as well is always pretty nice. And you also have always the Wombo combo with the Darkseer Vacuum, right, into Echo. So I would have also loved to see an Earthshaker ban, but they take out a Huskar, which I guess is just an annoying hero in general. It's not like No Logic is really one of... I've seen through their past games, it's not like they favor Huskar that much. It's just that I think 5Jungz...
Oh!
I actually wanted to say it on purpose, but I actually slipped up right now.
Yeah.
But 5Jungz, they've played against it like I think 2 or 3 times in the past 2 days, so they're probably just sick of playing against Huskar, so taking that one out.
It's super irritating. But yeah, looking back at No Logic Gaming's kind of drafts over the past few series, they've been really enjoying these, you know, slippery little one-roll heroes for Nico Baby. He's incredibly skilled. I loved watching him when he was playing for Hehe, and he played for another team just after that as well. I can't remember what they were called, but anyway, his Slark, his Juggernaut, you know, things
Balkan
like
Bears.
that. Was it Balkan Bears?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, he
I
did
think
play
it was
with them
Balkan
for a
Bears.
little while.
I think he played together with Hookmaster as well.
Okay.
Who's now playing in this team as well. So yeah, I think he's also one of those guys that actually plays unconventional heroes. I've seen him play Sven when nobody else was playing it. It was pretty interesting to see.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I was coming to. He kind of reminds me of Artes from CIS Rejects. The hero pool and the sort of style of play where you farm for the first 10-15 minutes and the rest of your team just goes and, you know, absolutely ruins the enemy. They just go and fight and fight and fight, and then all of a sudden you're ready. You come in and battle it out on your own and try and 1v5 a little bit. But Nikwa, Hook, Nico Baby, Milan, and Spartan. So Spartan plus Milan, their support duo. And you know, Spartan, he really was one of my favorite heroes over on London Conspiracy. Milan I've been watching for a long time now, since he played with My Insanity. And everyone on this team, when I saw this team actually get made up, I looked at it and thought, okay, 7k MMR pub stars. It is like the mix of all mixes, pretty much. You know, okay, you're missing Miracle, you're missing Wayhar and things like that, but these guys are up on the leaderboards. These guys know what they're doing. The trouble with teams like this is always, you know, like the egos, the actual cohesion of the team itself. But with a captain like Spartan, it seems that they've found some sort of groove right now. And they're not looking too bad. With the initiation they've got with Spirit Breaker, good control with Lina, Rubik, they are missing a little bit on the sort of, you know, late-ish game carry style, sort of 35-40 minutes, someone who can farm for Nico Baby. But I'm actually wondering, now the Razor's picked up, do they want to go with something like that? Because the natural anti-carry nature of the Razor always makes it rough if you want to rely on one hero to go and do the heavy work later on.
Yeah, this is why it's really stressful to play against 5Jungz, because they're one of those teams that actually consistently pick up the Razor, which is actually why I was really surprised to not see it banned earlier, because, I mean, you mentioned it earlier, like, they targeted their bans towards, like, really these sustainable supports that can make life just really difficult, but I think I would have much rather preferred seeing them ban, like, the Razor, for example, but, yeah, it is really difficult, and if you look at it right now, the No Logic Gaming lineup, aside from the Spirit Breaker, is a bit squishy. I mean, D2CL, yeah, sure, you get a mech, but Lina and Rubik is really squishy, and they have a lot of burst potential with the Earthshaker and with the Ogre as well. And even the Plasma Field is pretty strong as well, I feel. So I think No Logic Gaming, they need a bit more... Yeah, I think they need a bit of a more frontline tank to go with the Spirit Breaker, so that the Lina can stand in the back lines and just fire away.
Yeah, someone to try and bait in the aggression and like counter-initiate with your Blink, Darkseer, Vacuum, things like that. How about a Wraith King? Because that's something that I think Nico Baby's been playing as well. He can soak up a ton of damage. He can actually output physical damage himself. But then the second cycle, you know, the life he gets from Reincarnation. Jump yourself back up and screw the tankiness of Ogre Magi. Forget about that Flame God and Ember Spirit. You can just rip them to shreds a second time.
The only issue I see with the Wraith King is that he gets kited very easily in this scenario. I guess any tank would get kited pretty easily in this sort of lineup. I mean, you have the Searing Chains, you have the Ogre Magi stun, you have the Fissure, and even the Razor with his annoying passive is really difficult to deal with as Wraith King. You want to stun him, and then suddenly you're just not moving at all because you're so slow. So, in general, yeah, I think it could work if you just jump in and kind of YOLO, because you do have that second life to rely on. But, you know, Nico Baby, he's so versatile. I can see him pick up any hero at this point. So, yeah, Wraith King is a potential pickup.
Silencer. I was going to wonder, what do you want for Kuroki here? Because Earthshaker looks like he's heading towards the offlane in this situation. Ogre plus Earthshaker as your two supports doesn't really mesh that well. Two melee supports that kind of rely on positioning and charging people down a little bit more than sitting back and getting their spells off. So Silencer for him. And No Logic Gaming, I feel with that pick, Wraith King becomes even more likely. The fact that you can't now rely on a hero that, you know, jumps in with spells is not going to be a Storm Spirit, maybe, to be that sort of carry hero with the mobility. You're not looking at, I don't know, a Juggernaut is possible. We've seen Nico Baby pick that up as well, but still, Omni Slash and Blade Fury, you need to get them off in the team fights. It's a difficult choice.
I think a Juggernaut would be more preferable in comparison to the Wraith King, just because with the Wraith King, you run into the danger of actually losing intelligence.
Yeah.
That is a real threat, honestly. Just losing intelligence and not having enough intelligence on your own to just have your ultimate.
What about Spectre?
Oh yeah, Spectre.
There we go.
Oh, that call.
There we go. It's just like naturally. Hang on a second. Spectre's a hero. She got buffed in the recent patch as well. We always forget about Spectre. Little old Spectre. So Nico Baby over on that hero. And hang on a second. Yeah, I've got Spartan, Spirit Breaker. Lina's going to be your mid. Nico offlane Darkseer, then Milan the Rubik. So Rubik, Spirit Breaker, your supports. You've got good mobility, displacement, charge people down, nuke damage from Lina, sustainability and physical damage, and also pure damage from the Spectre. And since her change to Dispersion, now it returns damage before reductions and also back with the damage type it was actually thrown onto her. It doesn't go through BKB, which is always something worth thinking about when Razor is kind of a natural BKB carrier, but Ember's not. So physical damage going onto the Spectre is going to be returned and bypass the Ember Spirit's Flame Guard. It's going to be actually kind of cute to see where they go with this.
Yeah. I think it's pretty interesting to. Oh.
Yeah, someone said it was fixed. Someone said that the new patch fixed the flattened serializer. You lied! You bloody lied to me. It's not fixed at all. Oh my goodness.
Okay, let's see. Let's see who can back the earliest.
Oh, I want to go back through chat, but I think the message has already gone. Someone definitely said that it was fixed, and
even I said it was fixed.
I believe
it was supposed to be fixed, right?
I believed you all.
To bedrock I return.
I thought that's what the patch notes said.
Yeah, you can't trust patch notes anymore. It's just got a different number at the end. It's like we fixed the flattened serializer, you know, X00FC00321, but we didn't fix flattened serializer XCF0032013. Like, thanks, Valve. Congratulations.
But, you know, it's good that we draw attention to this because ESL 1 is happening tomorrow. So hopefully they fix it by then.
Oh my goodness. It's the first big LAN event on Reborn, isn't it?
Yes.
Like we had
Hey,
we had Ireland.
Are you calling Ireland not big? Like what?
Hey, okay, wait, have I crashed again? Excellent. That's exactly what I wanted. Brilliant. And now I can't alt tab or oh, there we go.
What happens if you don't click OK on that error message?
Then you can't do anything. The game is like frozen behind it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Excellent stuff. So, chat, how are you doing? How are you doing? They've been trying to get me to pronounce these words.
As eternal as the moon.
It says that the chat is now in German hands.
Oh God. The chat is definitely not in German hands. I'm here. Where are the mods? Where are the mods?
Pretty sure there's only one mod at this point.
Is it just Kit Kat? It's me and Kit Kat against the world, against the hordes. Okay.
They dared continue playing without us.
I think this is to earn. We're doing it. Right. Ladies and gentlemen. Best of 3. 5Jungz here against No Logic Gaming, and I'm certain that Reborn's gonna work now. Hook on your Lina heading towards the mid lane. Milan on your Rubik. Spartan playing that Spirit Breaker charge, already leveled up, so we're gonna be looking to actually roam around very early on. Nikwa, the Darkseer, Soul Ring recipe in hand, as well as a fair amount of tangos there. He will be dealing with Kuroki's Silencer. You know, it's incredibly annoying. The glaives actually get spammed out a hell of a lot on that safe lane. And it's pretty rough, actually being a Darkseer in this situation. Jirax playing at the Ogre. Mind Control, offlane Earthshaker. Stout Shield Earthshaker. Very interesting. Vata playing the Razor. But Stout Shield Earthshaker, I've never seen that before.
You know, get a bit more sustain. And against a Spectre, maybe.
Yeah.
I think if you're playing against something like a Spirit Breaker, like a support Spirit Breaker, you have to assume that the support is gonna be outside of your lane a lot. And if you do go for those 1 versus 1 situations, I mean, having a Stout Shield can help you out a lot.
Oh, charge already? The Iron Shells are here, but Ogre says, hey buddy, Spartan, you don't have a charge anymore. With Ignite and the thwacks out from his club, this might just be your first blood. Kuroki spamming out the glaives like a madman, and Spartan, charge in 1 second's time. Can he get away? If he can target a creep, come on, you can do it. No, he's charging to Kuroki. They're actually looking for the kill turnaround. Kuroki's actually trapped in here, but he doesn't die. Matu gets the chains and the kill. Oh boy, was that close.
That was so incredibly greedy, though. He could have definitely just chosen any lane and would have charged their.
They're going back in. They're actually going back in. Spartan's here with the single Iron Shell. Don't have double Iron Shell. Tanky old Ogre. Not going to get brought down by this. Meanwhile, Mind Control's chasing Milan through the jungle. But yeah, I agree. He could have literally charged to any lane and actually survived.
Okay, I said this earlier regarding a possible Wraith King, but this applies to Spirit Breaker as well. Like, losing intelligence is actually a real threat here. I've seen a lot of Spirit Breakers not have enough mana for a charge and an ultimate. And he has to be really careful giving away these kind of kills to a Silencer.
Wait, what sound is too loud? Chat is complaining. Nothing's changed. What sound is too loud? Because nothing's changed since yesterday, and yesterday everything was perfectly fine. I hope we don't have the goblins back. We've had some issues with our studios. The goblins and the gremlins have been eating cables and changing things around or something.
Maybe somebody brought a cat to the studio.
Oh, multiple cats. Just ruining everything. Well, Nikwa up at top. It's a little bit rough here. He's at level 2 though, so he's got his surge. Still going to be relatively difficult to get close to this lane though, with the ogre just running him down over and over again. Mind control on bot. He's got a ton of last hits. He's 8-1 actually, and I want to say in this 1 versus 1 scenario against Nico Baby, Earthshaker against Spectre, the Earthshaker has a good time. Like, you've got Enchant Totem, and I'm wondering if he goes for like the Bambo build with 3 in Enchant, just to get yourself that damage output. Because when he's been in 1v1s against like Embers and, you know, heroes he can kind of punish, as Hook takes a big old walloping at mid, then Earthshaker is actually a pretty good 1v1 hero.
Yeah, I agree. And Bumbo even goes for the Shadowblade later on as well, just to be a really big threat as well. He usually does it though when they have a lineup that doesn't really have too many carries, if I recall correctly. Like if they have like a Queen of Pain on Pycat, for example, that's more like magical damage more than physical. But still, I think it's more like a Bamboo kind of playstyle though. I think Mind Control is more of the team fight kind of player that goes for the standard items like Shiva's Guard even, I think.
Kuro. That Centaur has an Iron Shell for some reason, trying to take out this stacked camp. But Spartan and Nikwa, you know, we've seen Darkseer Bounty Hunters, Darkseer Spirit Breakers really pile on the pressure up against defensive tri-lanes. Oh, it was the coming up screen that was too loud. Interesting. Not sure why, but here we go, charging. Yeah, Matu's actually been caught. Double Iron Shell shredding him, but he's got chains. He should be okay unless the surge comes through. Flame Guard, the bash, Spartan. Another bash is... Oh, he doesn't even need it. Gets the hits in with the Iron Shell, and it's the Searing Chains there should have really caught too.
Yeah, unfortunately the Spirit Breaker was just out of range, and it was actually really unfortunate because 5Jungz, they wanted to gank them themselves. Jerax was lying in on the river and just waiting for the right opportunity to come in, but they didn't really get the opportunity, and then, you know, Spirit Breaker happens. Who's, by the way, charging to the mid lane.
He's got an Iron Shell still on him. Static Link is there, but Fata going to take a full brunt of the magic damage out. No way he can turn that. Matu even TP's towards mid. Not sure if he's looking for the counterplay, because really there is none. He's not. If he was level 6, you know, maybe you Remnant over onto Hook and find that kill on the Lina. But goodness.
At the same time, though, it's not a wasted rotation. He had to TP out to any lane anyway, and now he can farm here because, I mean, if you look at Hook, he got hit by the full range plasma field, and he couldn't actually contest him in the lane at all. So that was like at least some like half away for farm from Matu. So it's okay.
He gets himself some experience and things like that as well. Now Kuroki, you've got 570 gold and a TP scroll. He's got nothing left, no regen, no anything. Time to spend your money, buddy.
They want to go for the kill here, but Nikwa has a really well placed ward. I want to mention it's outside of the Sentry ward range because that's not really. Oh, they go on Kuroki.
Oh man, Kuro. One bash, is it there? The chains will hold him in place, and Spartan is turned on. The surge will get him back to safety, and he should be fine even with a pop. Of that.
Yeah, that was close.
Word. Yeah, cutting it close, 50 health. But the pressure they're actually piling on here. Matu has 21 last hits. You know, the Radiant are actually farming quite a fair bit better than their counterparts over on the Dire side. And Nico Baby's been left alone for a couple of waves here, while Mind Control heads himself back to base. Spectre? What kind of build can we expect out of her? It looks like Urn first, but there's lots of kind of min-maxing with this hero now.
I think you definitely want an Urn if you look at this lineup. I mean, you're gonna go for a lot of pickoffs. You're gonna have probably a lot of early fights. I mean, you have a Lina, you have a Spirit Breaker. You want to engage, right? And if you get like a Haunt in and participate in those kills, I think the Urn is gonna pay off very soon. So Urn, and then just maybe even go for the drums if you're really greedy. But well, actually, it's not really greedy. The greedy build would be to go for the Radiance, but. I think you definitely still go for the Radiance instead of drums.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen people talking about, you know, S&Y, Manta style, the Urn, even actually going back to the kind of older Vanguard build because of that dispersion now working before the reductions, actually doing a ton of damage back top lane. They've got Matu actually charged up again. He gets the chains down, but Nikwa surges forward. Haunt not jumping himself up to top here. But the fact that Matu doesn't have level 6, doesn't have mana, doesn't have anything, means that Nikwa with the body blocks, surely, with the surge again, they're going to find this kill. Matu, the TP's coming in from the silencer, and he gets the double chains out. They don't find him, and now they're both dead. the salve up, they find one, and they find a secondary one. Fata comes in for the cleanup.
And bottom lane, they're going on Nico, baby.
Oh man, you're right. With no Haunt, with no Spectral Dagger. Mind Control and Jirax there. Throw out the disables.
Okay, so there's so many things that actually went wrong for NLG. The Spectre, she haunted, but then she realized that she didn't have enough mana for Spectral Dagger, so like haunting in was basically no option because she wouldn't have been able to get the kill. And I don't know why they were so greedy even to dive for tier 2. And then right before the Ogre wanted to kill the Spectre, Rubik TP's out to the top lane. So this is so unfortunate for this Radiant team, and they just lost 3 heroes.
Yeah, it's super rough. They're going to find Milan here. One thwack, no, one stun. Laguna Blade's thrown out from Hook, but Mind Control doesn't really care about that. They lose another 2. And this Rubik, you know, the hero in itself with boots first, I was kind of expecting a more aggression, you know, moving around, trying to find these telekinesis plays with Alina to try and find kills. But Hook has gone for these phase boots very early on and not the Yule Scepter, so I think he's going to be relying on the Rubik a little bit more with telekinesis to set him up. We very rarely see, you know, phase boots over on the Lina anymore. It's usually treads, it's usually you rush into the Yule Scepter. But the Rubik hasn't found the time or space to really stack heavily in the jungle. He's mainly just been pulling through, trying to hold the lane back, trying to counteract what Mind Control does with the Earthshaker.
Yeah, and the one time he wanted to rotate, he even had a haste rune, but there was just a really good dire ward to scout it out. So, oh, top lane. Nah, they can't really do anything. He's level 6 now. Matu should be fine.
They still want to try, but look at that, the chains. He stands there baiting them.
He's taunting them.
Yeah, the taunt, like, you guys, you can try. The mind game's already being played out by Matu. Smoke down bottom lane, though. Kuro, Mind Control, Yirax, they were all looking for this. Nico, baby. You Spectre, time to switch to Strength Treads because you're in a ton of trouble if you get caught. I mean, Fata, the Razor, it's an annoying hero, but he doesn't have a massive amount of burst damage. It's all like Plasma Field and then sustained through the static link. But if the Spectre can't haunt away, if there's, you know, 4 heroes down here and Matu gets the haunt jump up to top, he can actually kill off the Spectre decently easily.
Yeah, they have a really good setup for this. I mean, they have the long range initiation with the Fisher, then they can stun him and silence him as well. So they have a good setup, but they realize, okay, this is maybe too obvious. Nobody's farming mid. Matu is completely solo by himself on the top lane. Maybe it's too obvious. In the meantime, though, Hook, he wants to kill here desperately, and he's also wasting a lot of time here.
Did they just cancel a charge? Yeah, they did. Not going in behind the tower. I don't know exactly where people are, and the one tiny little stack that Rubik made is cleared out by the Dire, so they've made a good sweep through here. Even if they have wasted a little bit of time, oh, they're going in looking for the... Oh, no kill. Looking for damage. Not actually killing blow there onto the Spectre, but they forced the Spectre and the Rubik both to sit pretty far behind the tower. Jump back, Matu. He's got the Remnant, so the turnaround is here. Spartan's hasted up. Spartan surged back. Remnants forward to get the chains onto Nico. He's got no surge, and that should be his life forfeit. No. They don't want to continue. Fartas now lifted up in the air. Telekinesis into the Laguna Blade. Still hasted, though. Spectral Haunt will come in as well as the Plasma Field dishing out the damage, but the bash from Spartan will catch the Razor. And Hook still standing strong as Mind Control releases the Echo Slam. A 1-for-1, but it's mid for support. And 5Jungz, that's a risky dive they really didn't have to make.
Yeah, but at the same time, they committed 4 TPs to that gank attempt, and they didn't cancel a single one of them. So I feel like they were kind of pressured themselves into this sort of like commitment. Hey guys, we TP'd 4 heroes now, and we didn't get anything bottom, so let's get this kill here ASAP. So I think this is just like, at some point you just pressure yourself into this because you have this really aggressive, or you have this potent combo, right, with the Fisher, with the Ogre Magi. So you really want, oh, Nico baby.
Yeah, I've been watching this. Matu, though, he has no remnants left. Nico Baby survives through it, and with Spartan and Nico both here. Looking for a stun, a disable, a something to stop Matu from running away, but it looks like, oh god, they turn back again. Chains under the tower, and Spartan is trapped, but there's no response out from 5Jungz. And Matu should be fine. But it's kind of crazy, you know, you're talking about the 4-man TPs up to top, down to bot. It's just constant reaction play from both teams. They both want to get the upper hand. I mean, 5Jungz, it feels like they're ahead with the kill score they've got, but farming-wise, the Radiant have been doing very impressively. With the drums being built up by the Lina, She's actually heading into more of like a stats-based build. Something we've seen from Always Wanna Fly on his 4-year-old Lina. Just get your drums, become a little bit tankier, a bit. It's more reliable, right? You just become a right-clicking hero that's more reliable in a team fight rather than relying fully on your skill set. But
yeah, especially considering what you're up against, right? I mean, I mentioned it before that Lina can be really squishy if you consider the amount of burst they have, like with the Fisher, with the Ogre, and even like the Ember. So this is more, yeah, as I said, more solid and stable, sort of like build.
I'm hoping for the Shadow Blade coming out next. Phase boost drums Shadow Blade. Nikwa, you're found by Matu, but guess what, Matu? You've been found by the rest of the team. He jumps over the Fisher. He's got himself with Mind Control and Jirax here. Spartan, Nico Baby, they're looking to try and block this off, but they've got no real way of stopping the retreat. Mind Control should be fine. Matu, though, is not. Laguna Blade will secure that kill. I've even got an Ember Spirit Illusion with an Ion Shell on it running forward. Milan. Big old chunk of damage there, but Spartan going back in. He's half HP. Gets the bump on the head onto Fata, but Hook. Dragon Slave across the bow, both of them, and a good Light Striker race to stop the advance as well. NLG, they're playing pretty solidly here. Fata not finding a single opening.
It was a bit of a greedy play by Matu. I mean, he saw the ATP coming in from Fata, and it seemed like 5Jungz made the call, okay guys, we can fight this. Let's fight this. And Matu, instead of just, you know, going back and be safe first and then fighting maybe, he just tried to, you know, bait something out. And I mean, he did, I guess, bait out the Laguna, but he also paid with his life for it, so hashtag not worth.
Spectre has 2,000 gold saved up. 30 minutes in, Treads earn, you know, going for the sort of bare minimum here with the stats and a little bit of regen you've got. But Relic really isn't far away for the Spectre. As long as you can keep her head down and just, you know, try and hide away while you get the Relic, the rest of your team can fight decently well. Lina with the...
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Lina with this Laguna Blade just keeps coming back off cooldown. You know, it's always being thrown out in these really, really scrappy team fights, honestly.
It's a good timing for the Spectre as well, especially if you consider this sort of like 2-minute standoff they had bottom. Speaking of bottom.
Tanky Ogre. Not tanky enough with a double Ion Shell and Laguna Blade, but Matu, he's got the scent of blood and he wants to go and fight, but Mind Control's the one that's caught out. Good global there from Kuro. Mind Control's still not dead, and they won't find him just yet. Turns back, but the mech from Nikwa keeps them all alive. The Dragon Slave at the very tip of it finishes off the Earthshaker in the back, and Matu jump. Gets himself on the lower edge of that cliff. Still, Dire losing out massively in these team fights, and guess what? Spectre is still farming away in the mid lane.
Oh, Matu. He got charged right before the Invis rune. It's not going to be enough, though. Oh, he has the Iron Shell, actually.
Oh, no freaking way. With a dagger, they find it. And Jirax TP'd in to try and save him, but I don't know about this. Spartan, he's got a bash. He's got another couple of hits, and that's it. Another kill across there onto your Spirit Breaker. Goodness gracious me. What are we even looking at now?
The rotation's coming in.
It's a support Spirit Breaker, though. Like, that's the big issue. This is the hero that's causing all of these problems for you. But it's the 4-role support. If you kill him off, like, fair enough. He doesn't have great item progression. But he doesn't care. He's a walking charge machine with an Iron Shell on. He just runs in. Alright, that's my job done. The rest of my team is farming and basically carrying through.
Yeah, they're trading very unfavorably here. If you just look at the scoreboard, I mean, Ember Spirit, Matu, he's just sitting on 3 deaths, which is not really what you want. Especially if you look at the net worth as well. I mean, he's 1k behind the Doxier, who, I guess he did have a decent time on the offlane, but still 1k behind at this point is not ideal. And I mean, there's not even an item on the horizon for Matu, right?
No.
What is he gonna build next? Matu, on the Ember.
I wonder if he goes for Ring of Aquila or if he goes for drums. Like, he definitely needs some kind of stopgap item. You know, if the fights are going to be this messy and continuous, you need something that gives you a little buff up in your stats, whether it be the Ring of Aquila. Oh god, Mind Control. Little boop there. Bash on the noggin. Smack you in the gabba. Spirit Breaker Spartan. He's level 7. He's honestly just like spamming his spells whenever he can. And Fata on the Razor. No mech. Actually going to go for the S and Y, it looks like.
The way Spartan plays this Spirit Breaker reminds me a lot of March. He just goes in anytime possible. Oh, Nico Baby, top lane. He's dead.
Oh, you're right. He's been caught. How close was he? Yeah, still sitting on 2,700. But I guess he must have lost like 400 or so gold from that.
He was sitting at 3k something. And this is a really good redemption kill from Matumba, man. I mean, he's suddenly sitting at 1k gold again. So that was pretty good for him. Yep. And Nico Baby has to be careful. He can't really give away these kills, to be honest. At least until he has his Radiance.
Mind control. You've got Echo and Enchant, and Nikwa knows this.
Oh, the charge was cancelled by Roshan.
No.
Oh my god. That would have been a kill for sure.
Spartan getting a little bit unlucky there. What a tragic event. But this Dark's here, Nikwa, the utility hero. You know, Arcane's mech Soul Ring. I'm not sure where he heads next. You know, we see a lot of people go for a Glimmer Cape, a Blink. Going Greaves here, though, is vitally important for the Darkseer. Like, 100% he's going to finish off the Greaves. Just not sure where in the build order it comes, because Dispelling Global Silence, he has to do it. He is so heavily reliant on casting Vacuum Wall.
Yeah. Usually I'd say you go for the Blink before you finish the Greaves, just because, especially in this kind of game, I mean, they're playing really aggressive. It is a good tool to initiate and counter-initiate with. But as you said, I think just because of the Silencer, you kind of want to have the Greaves first, because you can't really afford to not have your spells in a team fight.
Haunts? Where are they going? Kuroki! Oh, there we go. Fisher comes across, and Kuro, there's no jaunt forward, no reality from the Spectre to try and find the kill, and Spartan, there we go. There's another kill over on him, so his aggression. He's paying for it at this point, while Hook middle lane, the Remnant dodge, Matumba man, and jumps over the Light Strike array, but the movement speed is ridiculous. Phase drums, and you've got 5-2-2, and she is going for the Shadow Blade, it looks like, so I'm a big fan of that.
I think Nico Baby didn't jaunt because he was too scared of losing gold again, or not getting the kill and wasting time. I think this is, I don't know, like, if you're a Spectre and you have confidence and you have had a good game, you jaunt to that no matter what, just because you're like, oh yeah, that's an easy kill. But I think just because he died up there and lost a lot of gold and just right before he was getting his relic, I think that kind of affected his mindset. Because I don't see why he wouldn't jump there at that point. That was a secure kill if he had jaunted there.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I guess he just thinks that farming the jungle, farming lane securely for the next couple of minutes is where he wants to be. Earthshaker, off-lane Blink Dagger, you know, 80 minutes, 90 minutes, it's pretty regular timing, honestly. We've seen Bambo get a 12-minute Blink, but pretty extreme circumstances lead to that. But 20-minute Blink for your off-lane ES with the... Like, Arcane Boots have become more popular now, I feel, than the Soul Ring Tranquils for especially Mind Control and Bambo. Gives you a nice little mana pool boost, allows you to spam out the old Fisher. So if you've got a mana-intensive team, you know, Ember Spirit, Razor, Ogre, their mana pools are not great, and they do rely heavily on just throwing these spells out to control people.
Yeah, I agree. It's more of a team pickup rather than it is for himself, really. He would be fine with a Soul Ring as well, but for his team, it is really beneficial to have these Arcane Boots. Speaking about his team, they're smoking up and they look to take the tier 1 bottom now, and this could be really... Oh, no, they're taking a small detour, which says mid lane.
Feels like Matu is baiting down here. Hook, not going to go for the deny. He has Shadow Blade up in 10
Spartan's
seconds time.
called out.
He sees Matu and he goes straight for this Laguna Blade. The right-click attacks is going to be enough if he can keep it going, but Matumba Man jumps over with the Remnants, and he'll find a way to retreat. There a haunt? There is not. Oh, there was.
I think he didn't cast the Spectral... I don't know, does using your Remnant... Oh, sorry.
That's fine, it's only the Remnant.
Does using your Remnant disjoint the Spectral Dagger?
I don't believe it does, and I was wondering that as well.
I don't think so either, because if he had cast the dagger on Matu,
it follows.
It might have been, yeah, it should have followed, and it might have been a kill actually, because it was really low in HP. I think he had like 120 HP or something.
Okay.
So that was too bad.
Well, they get a tier 1. They get a kill on the Rubik at mid, and this Razor. Yeah, there we go. Finished off the S and Y, so he's going for more of like a brawling physical right-click damage carry on this Razor. And it's been kind of refreshing actually to see the mid heroes like SF, Razor, and to some extent Viper actually transition away from the mech builds, knowing that sometimes you just simply don't need a mech, and also that your supports can actually pick them up if they go for the Arcane Boots. Then they can actually go for that mech themselves. But getting S and Y, getting yourself BKB, actual tanky, right-click oriented, and also items that can help you transition into the late game for these heroes is much more important than having that, 12, 15, whatever minute mech to go and push tier 1 towers, because you still have the sustain from the rest of your team and the control that allows you to go and actually brute force towers down. You don't necessarily need that mech, the expenditure of gold on it.
Yeah, I agree, and it is really good to see, especially on Fada like right now, this Sanjay Nyasha, because his team is very much relying on him right now. I mean, I mentioned it before, Matumba didn't really have the best game thus far. He caught up a bit, of course, but still. And I mean, look at the net worth chart. Fada was third, like I think 8 minutes ago, and now he's ahead 1k gold. without any engagements, he just farmed up really fast. He just knows how to farm the jungle as well, especially on Raze, of course. Makes it a bit easier, but still, really good game from Fada so far.
So now Hook with his Shadow Blade, he's got himself his level 2 Laguna Blade. Where does he go from here? Because pick-off potential, with the right clicks he's got, he can actually look at killing off the Ogre in a decent amount of time. But I think that Matumbaman's Ember Spirit's really going to be the highlight for him. If you can find the Ember and slow down the Battle Fury even more. But we're already looking at a mid to late 20 minutes period Battle Fury for this Ember Spirit, which is already not great for a safe lane Ember. You're kind of aiming for 22 minutes, something along those lines, if you do go for the kind of stats, little stats build up with the PMS Aquila. But I don't know if he'll ever find him. You know, Shadow Blade allows him to get that Light Strike array down. The Yule Scepter doesn't really give him the opportunity. Sure, the Yules can dispel the Flame Guard, but there's going to be remnants out from Matumbaman. So,
yeah, they really have to rely on kind of like bursting him down within the Shadow Blade, and possibly, of course, with a charge in and the ultimate from the Spirit Breaker. They need to finish him in that duration. But they have the potential, of course, because they always have the Spectre, or not always, but they have the Spectre Haunt in if they really need it. So I think the Shadow Blade in that context makes a lot of sense, and I think you leave it at that though. You don't really upgrade it, and I think next item for him should still be the Aghanims, just because, you know, that Aghanims upgrade is just too good, especially against an Ember Spirit.
Yeah, I mean, even against, you know, the tanky-ass Ogre.
Oh, yeah.
Or even get that one-hit kill down onto your Silencer. It's not going to be the one-hit kill, because they did reduce that damage down now. 850 over on that Lina. And it looks like, actually, Kuro going for the Glimmer Cape. So he's got himself Urn, Tranquils, a Cloak, so into the Glimmer. And where do you head from there? Because Force Staff is good. Rod of Atos is actually pretty okay here, even with the Surge and Charge. You know, just the actual tankiness you get from it, slowing down the Lina, the Spectre, who are naturally quick on their feet already. But Force Staff, if you get the money, maybe you even think about a Refresher Orb.
Oh yeah, Refresher could be really, really good, but I'm not sure if you're thinking, or if you're looking at a Refresher right now, if you're Kuro. I think you want more utility stuff, as you said, like a Force Staff, like a maybe even a Yules or something, just because, I mean, a Refresher, it's a lot of money investment, but for now, something like a Force Staff could be much more valuable. If somebody does get initiated upon, for example, being charged on, you can just Force Staff him away and get him out of harm's way. So I think Force Staff right now would probably be the best. But in general, I mean, just looking at Kuro's gold or net worth, he's been doing a really good job at catching up in terms of farm, or just utilizing the space that his team has sort of like given him. Because if you compare him to the other supports for example, of NLG, I mean, look at the Rubik. He's got nothing.
Can you go and look at the Razor? There's something that's confusing me. It looks like he's holding a fish skeleton or something.
Yeah, it does look like it.
What the hell is that? And if you zoom in on him, you can't see it. It doesn't exist because Reborn still bugs out the kind of interactive view mode.
I think it's his whip.
A broken ass
Yeah, it's
whip.
his whip.
Okay, so that's the... Oh, it is, yeah, you're right. It's just the whip with that little particle effect of the lightning on it.
Yeah.
Well, smoke up here, Spartan and Hook. They're looking. They might just find Fata. He runs straight on into them. There we go. Nether Strike start things off. Fata pops the Invis Rune and says, see ya. You're not going to be getting a kill
so
today.
Unfortunate.
Oh, now he's actually turning to fight. Spartan has a charge, so he should be able to jump himself to another lane until the Fisher and the right clicks come in. Mind control with the reaction.
Out of all the runes Fada could have had in his inventory, this was pretty much the only one that could have saved him, because haste would have not mattered at all, because they would have stunned him and he would have been dead. But Invis Rune, always lucky.
Always lucky. Now, Matu's been given some free reign on bot. He's got two people standing behind him. Kuroki and Yurax both there, just in case things do go a little bit pear-shaped. Nico Baby, Relic is up. Another 600 gold in the bank as well. So Radiance isn't far away, and it's the same situation with them. Milan, the Rubik, the babysitter, the bodyguard. But can you guard against this tanky Ogre? Nice little observer. They're going to watch out for the movements of the Spectre and the Rubik, and maybe they go for a sideswipe. They know that the Spectre's in here, but the charge across, they can stop this. In fact, he stops it himself. Now with Kuroki, damage output, Searing Chains is there, the Haunt is not going to do anything. Spartan just dead. Back into the wall though. Fisher will stop them with a Global Silence out, and Kuroki looking to retreat. They've got these illusions chasing, but the Glimmer Cape keeps them under the guise of invisibility as they turn back onto Nico with the stuns. The Echo in from Mind Control catches out Nico Baby, but tanks through it all. Matumba Man, your damage is there, but your mana's not. No Flame Guard and nothing left to throw. No chains and no Slight. What the hell was that trade-off? 3 for 1. As Ogre and Ember both tank through it all, and Razor kind of, rocks up, says, I'm going to go top lane. I don't really care about your brawler bot, so a 5v4 ends up really heavily favoring 5Jungz.
Yeah, pretty much the team that had the better vision won this fight, because 5Jungz were fully aware of everything that was happening, because they had that one grid ward that you pointed out, whereas NLG, they didn't have a single point of vision in that area. They didn't know that Mind Control was going to be there. In fact, he was up top up until very recently. I mean, you pointed out he was part of the gank that killed the Spirit Breaker, and suddenly he's bottom with a Blink Echo. So this is coming down to vision or lack thereof. And if you look at the Radiant vision on the top lane, for example, they have 2 wards that basically give the same amount of vision, or they just give the same, they cover the same area.
Spartan, he's gone in deep again, but he's silenced up. Nico with a mech gonna save him in the good vacuum, but is there follow-up? Mind Control swiped down by Nico Baby. The Iron Shell doing a ton with a Desolate as well. But Fata runs in onto Milan, and they'll find themselves, surely, the damage. It's just not there. Milan survives and gets himself away, while in the back, Matumba Man runs in 1 versus 3, and Hook says, thanks for the kill. I'll now be running onto the rest of your team. Nico Baby leading the charge with a little melee lane creep, and Iron Shell up on him. And they get some vision, turns the daytime vacuum back, but there's no stun. Hook, not on the same page as Nico there, actually went east when should have really followed through north.
That was a pretty good fight though. They didn't lose anybody and they got 2 kills, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty good. I have no idea what Matumba was doing there. There was clearly a communication issue because he was fighting pretty much the whole team by himself, whereas 5Jungz, they were like, oh hey, let's try to kill this Rubik that we actually don't get.
Matumba Grill going in, not realizing what's behind the tree line. But you're right about Nico. He went for the blink, and now he's very close to his next item. 1,300 gold saved up.
And Nico Baby finally finished that Radiance. That's about 5 minutes later than he wanted it to be. And imagine that fight right now if he had a Radiance the whole time.
Everybody
that would have been
dies.
Yeah, exactly. That would have been completely different. So this is going to be a game changer. But 5Jungz, they just don't want to. They just don't want to give up. They just keep the aggression up. Look at this very aggressive smoke and ward as well.
Oh, Hook. Ultimate Orb is up. Lets himself through the middle lane again, and Matu is charged. This Ember Spirit. He even uses chains over on the creep wave. You're going to start jumping now. First, Remnant gets himself a little bit further back. And Hook, he's hesitating.
Ah, Spartan.
Oh dear. There's the Fisher. That going to secure them the kill? I keep thinking that the kill's secured, but somehow the Radiant finds ways to escape, but not this time.
That was really good awareness from Matumba Man, knowing that gank was gonna come, and that would have been probably a pretty easy kill actually. But yeah, good awareness. And you pointed out the ultimate orb on Hook. What is he getting? Is that a hex?
I don't think Lincoln's is where you go
Yeah.
here. There's very little single target. There's the Ogre, and that's pretty much it. I guess it's the Hex. There's really nothing else you can go for. Mantis style. I mean, you buy a BKB if you want the Lina to try and get out of Global Silence, right? You don't buy a Mantis style. Skadi, never see that on the Lina really. So really narrowing everything down. Hex is 99% sure. And against Silencer, against
Hook.
the Ember Spirit.
He's underneath the sentry ward.
Is he going to get turned on, though? It's only the Ogre and the Ember Spirit. They don't really have that much to deal with him. And he's got a DD rune actually there, ready for him.
You don't want to fight this.
Really don't. Matu, though, he's basically got enough for his Battle Fury.
Oh, this ward that Jarex placed earlier, it is so incredibly valuable. I mean, I can't really put a price on it, basically, because it saw so many rotations coming in. But very smart from NLG, actually. They had to know that there was a ward, so they smoked behind it, actually.
Oh, blink in. The Fisher are going to actually lock down Milan here, and the Global Silence comes out after the Laguna Blade is popped. Fata with his freshly built up BKB turns to fight Hook, but this fight has been so spread out that Spartan with Nikwa finds a kill on Kuroki in the end. Gem dropped on the floor. Another charge back across onto Matu. They've got to try and focus down one target, and Matumbaman looks like it's going to be that one. Bashed up so he can't remnant back. And a vacuum into wall. Nikwa Echo slammed up with his own illusions, but he's tanking through it all. He's got the Greaves and gets the kill on mind control. The chase onto Fata's there. Spartan's looking for the Razor. He gets the stun. The bash on the head. A secondary one as well. Fata, time to run. This Orb of Venom's actually slowing him down a decent amount. And Nico Baby Radiant's chasing time. No dagger, but he's got the damage. They just need another stun. The charge will do it. A few hits in with the Desolate attacks, and they secure a 4-for-1 trade-off in that team fight. Absolutely
and they get a
amazing.
gem as well. So
did they pick it up?
Yeah, that was... I don't know, actually. I think that smoke caught them really off guard because, as I said, they smoked behind the tree line. So I think 5Jungz was too dependent on, oh yeah, this ward is so good, we're going to get this vision out of it. And then they got jumped. And then again, I think communication issue because they kind of focus different targets all the time. Matumbaman once again caught off guard and his team was just fighting somebody else where he was just, you know, kind of taking on the enemy team by himself.
Like, honestly, there were 4 fights at once. You know, the Earthshaker over here, there's Ember Spirit over here, Razor was up here somewhere. It was just all over the place. And in those situations, Radiance, the AoE damage from that, the Haunt, all of this, you know, kind of split damage out from NLG really worked out for them. They outlasted the Global Silence as well.
Yeah, which, by the way, was really, really on point. Like, Kuroki instant silence while, like, the same moment Nikwa blinked in. And if he hadn't Global Silence there, Nikwa would have gotten a 3-man vacuum, actually. So that was pretty clutch. And Nikwa, it took him quite some time to realize, hey, I have Greaves, I can dispel it. But he still did a really good job taking on 2 heroes by himself, basically, and just kind of, like, keep him distracted.
Well, it's 30 minutes in almost, and Matumbaman finally gets his Battle Fury. So you get some damage, you get some, you know, cleave. It's okay for farming. It's a decent fighting item for the Ember Spirit if you are pushing onto objectives as well. Bot tier 2 is like the ideal place because of this really annoying choke point for the Radiant to handle. It's difficult for them to actually defend this tower unless they break these trees and manage to come in from this side as well. But I think we might just see the wraparound. Actually go around through their own jungle and come in from behind. But Fata's already there farming this medium camp. Looks like they know what's going on. Observer Ward is just outside of that sentry vision range as well. And they walk straight past each other like ships in the night. Yurax, oh, he turns back. He sees the Spartan Spirit Breaker there. And the Haunt is out. Kuroki Global's up, so there's no jump. But he still looks like he's going to die here. Glimmercape keeps him alive for a little while longer as Nikwa Greaves up and vacuum back. Kuroki, Fata both caught in this. And with the telekinesis, they'll steal out something. They steal the Global. Rubik has Global here. Shouldn't really be able to do that, but he gets it off in the end. 3 heroes here retreating from 5Jungz as Fata's Razor is left all on his lonesome. There's no blink vacuum. Nikwa now is in a bit of trouble. Searing Slight. There we go. Get the combo off, and Nico Baby actually trapped in here. Razor with the damage output's pretty good, but a good Fisher out again. Blocks off the advance. Echo Slam. No reveal. As Nico Baby Spectre's taken out over on the east. Over on the west even, as Hook retreats and gets himself the hell out of there.
NLG, it looked so good for them at first, but they kind of got baited in, and they shouldn't have gone for that. After they got the Kuroki kill, I think, they should have just gone away. Like, they get the Kuroki kill and they steal a Global Silence. That's like a big win, right? But now they give away 2 very crucial kills. But at least they have another Global for the next fight. It's going to be off cooldown in like 70 seconds. They can use it once. So, yeah, as you said, like, Kuroki should never give that one away. And he had both spells off cooldown. Like, he could have used Curse or even the Last Word if he wanted to, but he didn't.
That was so much like the fight that we saw in the Radiant jungle from 5Jungz, where everything was split and there was no like focus or cohesion, like go on this target, we'll kill them, we'll finish them off. Again, everything was split. Fata was standing over here alone for, I don't know, a good 5-6 seconds, and no one really turned to fight him. They were busy chasing Matumbaman, looking for the big AoE vacuum wall. And Nico Baby's Radiant Spectre, he just really couldn't get the damage output. Then going a little bit too deep. Now with the Asher though, Manta Style should be up soon to try and get out that Global himself. But you look at these 2 one-roll heroes, right? The Spectre and the Ember. They're actually not looking that great. They've got to try and farm a little bit harder. Darkseer is up there in 3rd place. It's the Razor and the Lina that are really causing a ton of trouble for their opponent teams. And Hook, once he gets that Hex up, And this BKB from Fata's Razor now heading into a plate mail item, whether it's the AC or the Shiva's Guard. He's going to be tanky as all hell and maybe can't even become a target for them.
Yeah, this is why I don't really agree with the item decision from the Lina. I guess the Hex is going to be really nice, but once BKBs come out, there's not really much that you can do about it, right? I guess Fada's BKB is going to go down in terms of duration, but still, you kind of want to burst through that BKB with a Lina ultimate, Ag's ultimate, but yeah. At least she has the Hex now, so if they do find Fada and can surprise him, it's going to be killed, probably.
Well, there's no big lead for either team. It's been super back and forth. And right now, 5Jungz, they got themselves a 2k net worth lead. Experience sitting around 5k, actually. How are we looking hero level-wise? Yeah, I think the majority of this has to do... Oh, goodness. They've got the charge. Kuroki, global top. Turned back on him. Taste of your own medicine or something like that. Hook. Should be able to get in here with an LSA, but misses it actually. Vacuum off the mark as well. And Kuroki escapes with his life, but you know what's been stolen again? Milan has global again. It's ridiculous. Microtroll just blinks forward. He's found a couple of kills here, but oh, damn. 5Jungz is going to be counting the lucky stars that nobody dies.
This was really, how should I put it? This was really...
It was fucked up, honestly.
Yeah, it really was. Because Hook, he was like, okay, Kuro is dead for sure. I'm going to go to the next target. And theoretically, that's a good move, right? If you want to make sure that you get as much out of it as possible, that's how you should do it. You should not overkill a safe kill, but Kuro was by no means a safe kill, and yeah, he gets force stuffed away by, I think it was, yeah, MC or Mind Control. So
I've got the Hex on him.
Safe.
It looks like he's okay. Slight. Oh, wait, is he not jumping? There we go. Back into the jungle, just baiting out as long as he can, knowing that there's nothing really after the Hex and stun that can stop him in his tracks.
Yeah, and this is why I don't really agree with the Hex. He's still, I don't know. You could see, like, Lina had really issues just actually getting him close to death range.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy. Nico Hook, they're both actually now looking down towards the bottom lane. And they've got to start looking towards this bottom lane tier 1 and tier 2, because control of the Roche pit is going to become incredibly important for both teams. Getting Aegis onto your Lina or your Spectre as the upcoming team fights become, more and more messy with spells just being spammed out by both teams. And the fact that 5Jungz, if they want to go and take high ground, giving Razor Aegis here, once he has his... actually, AC is pretty much complete. Once he has that AC, it's Roshan time and it's high ground time.
Yeah, and what makes Roshan so much even more difficult for the Radiant to contest is just the towers that are still standing. You have not only the tier 1 on the Dire side, on the off lane, you also still have the tier 2 in the mid lane, which is also pretty good. And of course, tier 2 on the off lane, so... If the Radiant ever want to contest Roshan, and even if they do manage to find kills on 5Jungz, they can just buy back and TP in.
Oh, AC. Where's that? There we go. Hyperstone in the courier, so they've got it done now. BKB for Matoma Man, and he's actually getting ready to overtake the Lina, so they're going to have 2 heroes at the top of the net worth board, actually. I still feel so sorry for the Rubik. He has bought himself a null talisman. Just to try and buff. It's that situation where, okay, I can save up 500 gold and then I die. So it's save up the 500 or whatever gold, buy the null talisman, and alright, I'm gonna quit now. I'm gonna quit while I'm ahead. Not gonna try and save up for a blink or a point booster or anything like that. While the support's over on the Dire, you look at Kuroki with 7,700 net worth. He's got himself Glimmer Cape, a gem, a mech is done, and this is the situation I was talking about with the Razor. If you can get your supports to buy the mech and into the Greaves, it's a good late, it's a good late game item. Honestly, Greaves is a great late game item. It used to be seen that mech was, 20 minutes, we go and crush, and then we sell it later on your Shadow Fiend, your Viper, your Razor. You sell it for a bigger ticket item as it hits 40, 45 minutes. On your Silencer, if you're getting your Global Silence stolen on the regular, get yourself Greaves and get yourself that Dispel, because you do not want to be global.
Yeah. And yeah, as you pointed out, the Rubik, I mean, I'm not sure how much support you play, probably not a lot, but I've definitely been there, the kind of support that just you buy all the wards, you buy all the vision, because obviously there's now also a Glimmer Cape on, or there has been a Glimmer Cape on Kuro for quite some time, so you need Invis detection and stuff, and as Rubik, you're not really able to be part in these many kills because, Spirit Breaker and Lina off on the other side of the map getting those kills, so he's only been part of 5 kills, I think, yeah, and this Rubik is just he's not getting anything, and the dire side even have a gem, so all of his wards are going to be useless at some point as well.
Poor Milan. Well, they're going to bait things out a little bit. Lina illusion. Not going to really get any big spells cast out though, and Razor gets the tower tonight. Milan, are you going to try and play the fluff and stuff role, hide in the trees, get these observer wards down, because you're nearly scattered out there by Fata's plasma field. Trying to get these waves down.
Oh, look at this filthy vision coming out from the dire side. Like they just know where an LG is.
It's high ground time though. Like taking tier 2's mid and bot, and then shoving this top lane. It's classic move.
Yeah.
You've got Roshan, you've got Aegis, you've got AC. It's 37, heading into the 40-minute mark, and you've got your mech. You literally have every tool at your disposal to go and break tier 3s, and when you've got a pick off like that on your Spirit Breaker, you know that the initiation tools from NLG are now limited to Haunt and Darkseer, Blink, Vac, and Wall.
And even that is going to be, I'm not going to say useless, but it's going to be less useful, because look at Matuma, man. He also has a BKB now, so he doesn't really, I'm not going to say he doesn't really care about them, but he has tools to make this Darkseer look kind of useless in the team fight.
Kuro, where are you going, honestly? Where are you going? Meet up with Fata. Brothers forever. Friends for life. Let's go and take these ancients, shall we? This Razor now, you know. Aegis, AC. I guess Ags isn't too bad if you do want to really breach high ground in the next 10 minutes or so. Try and close out the game. Aghanim Scepter is always going to be good for killing off towers, but you could all equally go into a heart, into a butterfly, into some kind of actual tanky stats-oriented item.
Imagine if he goes hard. Like, how did they actually kill him?
Yeah, very nearly impossible. I don't want to say impossible because it's always possible for Fata just to run into the fountain and say, hey, you can kill me now. Hook, gem, they see ya. There's no stuns though. He's a little bit too quick on his feet. Gets himself back up onto high ground. But tier 2 mid, tier 2 bot. Easy and simple. One by one, meticulous play from 5Jungz as they just go and clear out objectives.
I find it interesting that Spartan would still opt for the Shadow Blade, or at least he's hoping to build it at some point.
Over a BKB?
No, well, either the BKB or something other, maybe like useful, I guess like a Halberd, for example, because they do have a lot of invis detection on the dire side. They have a gem and they have still dust, I think. Yeah, they have sentries at least. So I don't know how useful a Shadow Blade is going to be, especially... Oh, team fight.
Well, Fata just says, well, BKB time. Global Silence is actually thrown out there, and Nico Baby's on the back end of the fight. Good back with Kuroki and Yorax both caught, but Mind Control echoes up the Spectre, dealing a ton of damage and will be able to take... No, he won't. Cleared up by Matumba Man. Ember Spirit comes in and really finishes the job. Milan, third hero to drop here as Nikwa on the run out, surges up, Spectre buys back, but with no Haunt, can't actually get into the fight again. Nikwa drops, and that's an ultra kill for Fata. As Spartan and Nico Baby, it's time to defend your high ground. Defense of the Ancients is the name of the game, but can you play it? Manta up and Spartan, not sure about this one. NLG losing hero after hero, and their high ground defense capability is pretty much all gone. No stun from Hook, as it's a good fisher from Mind Control. Hex out onto Fata, but the tanky ass Razor. Not sure about their chances here of finishing him off as Matumba Man shows off the skills. Slight into chains and stops the advance. No tier 3's taken though, and with Aegis gone, time to heal up, get yourself back to Fountain. I'm not sure that a fake back and a regoose here is really a capability of 5Jungz.
Nah, they can play it safe. I mean, they did bait out, what, 2 buybacks? Yeah, from the Spectre and the Lina. 2 high priority targets in that regard, so they can just chill, basically, take control of the map again, make sure, maybe even push out the top lane a bit, because that was dangerously close to tier 3, and then just regroup and do it all over again. Even though they don't have the Aegis, I mean, it was fairly obvious that they didn't even need the Aegis, to be honest, and because Fata was just like, just because he had the Aegis, he knew how aggressively he could play, but they can still safely siege the tower without the Aegis. And Kuroki, nah, so he can afford to do this kind of stuff because, he has like mech, he has Glimmer Cape, he has Urn, he doesn't care.
And then he just takes out the sentry. You can't de-ward Kuroki. It's not possible. Now,
how dare you even try?
Insolent peasant, how dare you? The Razor went for a Skadi, and I was looking for stats if you didn't go for Aghanim Scepter, and Skadi is like the stat item, honestly. Kiting up against the Spectre is going to be pretty vital here. If you can get that Skadi debuff down onto her, it does limit her damage output and her mobility in team fights quite significly. And you can see...
Daedalus stun now on Matuma Man. It seemed like 2 years ago when he was actually super underfarmed in this game, but he's now a force to be reckoned with. He's dealing so much damage, honestly, when he crits.
Oh, definitely. Well, there was a stage in the game when he was, you know, mid-table net worth. He was behind Darkseer and Lina. They start off with a Hex onto Matu. The Laguna Blade taken down to half HP, but Global comes out and Kuroki silences everyone. Spartan drops and Fata in the thick of things. Nico Baby with no buyback available. That's probably just it. They bring down the Spectre, the jumps back and forth. Matumba Man, he wants to go into hook here with the BKB up. He's got the capability to jump himself back as well. 3 dead, and with Rubik, really the last man standing here, GG is called. So 5Jungz, they take game number 1 here in this best of 3. D2CL Season 6. It wasn't convincing though. The first 20 minutes or so, NLG put up a hell of a fight.
Oh yeah, for sure. There was some promising stuff in there, and I think if they just, you know, sort of their communication and play maybe a bit less aggressive in some scenarios, I think they have a really good shot of like at least contesting much more in the late game as well. So definitely props to them. But well, as you said, 5Jungz in the end still win, and it was I think in the end it was still sort of convincing because they played it on really cool. Like they knew, okay, let's just slow down the game. Let's just rely on our strength, rely on Fata. I mean, look at him, and you know, just play it out.
It was scary for the first couple of minutes though for them, I'm pretty sure. Now we'll be back, guys, in a couple of minutes for game number 2. It's a best of 3 after all, so let's see NLG, can they come back and draw things up? I'm Durka, joining me is Skim. We'll have a short little break, hopefully a short little break and nothing goes wrong.